Alright everyone, what is up here today YouTube? Jigsaw0097. Despite the eagle in the background and the eagle on the hoodie, this is actually not going to be an Eagles related video. This is just a video that I've been wanting to make for honestly years now, and it's not going to be like a great video like as far as like editing and scripting and all that, but it's just a video that I've always wanted to work the courage up to make and share with you guys in the hopes that it could help anyone deal with the possible struggles that I go through every day. And so this video is of course going to be about anxiety and the fear of not being good enough. And this is something that I've been struggling with my entire life. It's one of the reasons why I haven't made this video, is because just working up the courage to talk about stuff like this is for people with anxiety and not feeling good enough, the fear of the unknown and the fear of what other people might think of you, stuff like that. It makes it really hard to even talk about that stuff. And I saw a really cool quote the other day that really made me think about that even deeper, and it says your fear of looking stupid is holding you back. And I'll probably never forget that quote now, because that is so relevant to how I feel almost every day. Like I have this like image in my mind, this like ideal version of myself of what I should look like according to the world and whatever. It's like that weird thing that people talk about where they go to the gym and they feel like everyone's looking at them, even though like nobody actually cares at the gym, like what you're really doing. It's kind of like that, you feel like all eyes are on you and you just look stupid. So that's a really good quote that I wanted to share, and I really like that. But this video is really just going to be, it might be a little bit longer too, so if you guys watch the whole thing, I appreciate it. And also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you smash that subscribe button, because I will be covering the Eagles come season time, and probably gonna just make more videos like this. I'm trying to like make some more self-help type stuff, and it kind of helps me to get stuff off my chest. So yeah, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and if you are subscribed, make sure that you hit that notification bell so that you can keep up to date with these videos. But I'll just kind of get right into it. This has kind of been a struggle that I've had almost my entire life. I grew up in a pretty loving family, but my dad had severe depression, and so that kind of affected the family a lot. And I won't go into details about that, but needless to say, there was a lot of fear and doubt in my childhood growing up. I was a very happy kid. I think my childhood was amazing. It wasn't until I hit about 12, 13 years old, puberty, that was when life started to really weigh in on me. And I like to call myself a late bloomer in a lot of regards to just life in general. I'm 32 now, but it took me until I was 19 to get my driver's license. It took me until I was 24 to go to college. And I actually did drop out of high school, so I never finished high school, but I did get an associate's degree. So, it wasn't that. For a long time in my childhood, like my teen years, I did think I was a loser. I just straight up thought I was a loser because all of these other kids, I never had a girlfriend. All these other kids, they had girlfriends, they had degrees, they had cars, they had jobs. That was another. I didn't get my first job till I was 17, and it was McDonald's. So, yeah, that's kind of how I've always felt. I always kind of felt like a loser. That's the best way to describe it. I felt like I was like outsider and didn't really fit in with a lot of people just because I was behind on almost every metric is how I feel like. And I still feel like that. I'm 32, and a lot of people my age are like, now I wouldn't say super successful, but they have a house, they have kids, they have a wife. I don't have really any of those things. So, but that's kind of the epiphany I've had over the last year or so, is that none of that really matters. So, yeah, as I got into my 20s, I started to get with it. Like, one of my biggest escapes in life is video games. And so I played a lot of video games in my late teens, early 20s, and I don't know if it was just the video games, but I actually ended up getting carpal tunnel, really bad carpal tunnel, and I had to get surgery for that when I was like 23 years old, I think. And the reason I mention that is because that was kind of a wake-up call for me. Like, ever since I was 23, I've been on this path of bettering myself. And it's been almost 10 years now, and it's still a work in progress. And so the point of the video, I guess, is that the world kind of puts timetables on you, right? And that's good and bad. Like, I do think that having a sense of urgency in your life is a good idea, because it can kind of get the ball rolling for you. But also, at the same time, you don't really want to berate yourself for not being where you think you should be, Like, when I was a kid, I thought that I would be married by now. I thought I would be a millionaire by now. This is just these really are unrealistic goals in a way, because it's not that you can't be a millionaire, you can't get married, but I don't think there's like a timetable for that kind of stuff. And so you just try your best, live with a sense of urgency. As Jordan Peterson says, make the damn schedule, right? Just like make your life as if like you wake up every day and you do what you need to do for that day. And some days, like for me, I still just play video games and listen to music all day, and that really helps. So, and some days, I sleep in till 2 or 3 in the afternoon. It just depends on the day. And having days like that every now and then is pretty healthy, I'm finding. Like, don't beat yourself up for that too. Like, don't work yourself to death. Work smart, not hard. It's another good quote. But I'm making this video, I guess, because I've been talking with my family about it, but one of my goals in life, actually, that I'm learning is that I possibly would want to be a public speaker, maybe do like a TED Talk or something like that. And I do the Eagles on this channel, but I really want to like help people realize their potential in life, I guess. And I don't come to that as like an arrogant standpoint, like that I know it all and you guys don't. It's just that I've learned things in life that I just feel like are worth sharing. And something also I've learned about myself over the years is that I kind of have a lot of empathy for people. Like, I'm definitely the kind of person where I think you should work for something and earn it, but I also have like empathy for people that are just kind of stuck, because I think there's a lot of potential in a lot of people, and they have to get over this like initial hump. And if you can like teach people how to help themselves, that's how they can start helping themselves and then helping others. And it's kind of like a ripple effect, And so, yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. And it's something that I struggle with every day. Like I said, I take Xanax to calm it down quite often. I got prescribed Xanax like 2 or 3 years ago. I tried all sorts of anxiety meds, Trazodone, Prozac, and those just made me miserable. And Xanax, it makes me dreary and kind of loopy a lot, but that's really the only one that helps. And I make sure to keep it a low dose, but that helps when it's like really bad. And then also, working out has really helped me. I've lost over 40 pounds in this last year, so that's something I would also encourage anyone that's struggling to do. If you guys are like overweight or not healthy, just try your best to cut that crap now, especially if you're young. If you're in your 20s or 30s, now is the time, because once you hit 40, I'm learning, like, it's really going to be a lot harder to do this stuff if you don't start learning how to maintain it. And then also something that I've failed with is my finances. I'm not like in massive debt, but I haven't really saved anything until the last couple of years. And so, like, I'm kind of just beginning my my financial journey of what my goals want to be. I want to get into like real estate investing and stuff like that, like the stock market probably as well, like buy some index funds. But this is stuff that if you're in your 20s, I wish someone would have told me this, that you should just start doing that now. Go look it up. Here's actually a book that I would highly recommend reading if you want to get into the stock market. It's called A Random Walk Down Wall Street. This has been amazing for just learning what the stock market is. To kind of give what I think about it now, since I am a sports guy, is the stock market is pretty much like the NFL. I mean, you can look at last year and you can try to predict this year with last year, but ultimately, as the book says, it's a random walk. You really don't know what's going to happen. So highly recommend reading that book. Another book that I would recommend if you guys haven't checked it out, it's called Unscripted. by MJ DeMarco. He also has another book called The Millionaire Fastlane. Both of these books I haven't read yet completely, but I've kind of skimmed through them, and they're really good, especially if you're like this, if you like want to do YouTubing and stuff like this. Those are really what those books are about, is how you can make money in a digital age. So highly beneficial. That's been another thing this year I've been doing, is reading tons of books. I'd also recommend you guys do that to help. And these are all just things that are going to get back to the point. These are all things that are just going to make you feel better about yourself. They're going to help you grow mentally. And as far as like girls and stuff like that go, if you're afraid of asking girls out, just go ask them out, you know. There is another great book called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. And that's just a cool quote in general. Like, just the title of the book is something you can always remember, because you're never going to not feel the anxiety. If you have anxiety, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're never going to not feel it. It's never going to just go away, but it is something that you can recognize in yourself. And in a way, like Batman, you can just kind of, you know, hone it in stoicism. Look up that word, but if you don't know what it means, but essentially it just means feel the emotions, but, you know, push on. Don't let emotions destroy your life, guys, because that's really all they are. They're emotions, they're feelings. You know, fear, false evidence appearing real. It's stuff that is not necessarily, you know, there obviously are the fight and flight responses in our body that are legitimate, but in today's age, when we're largely safe compared to the rest of history, I mean, a lot of this stuff in your body it's just fear, and, you know, that's what life is. It's calculated risk. You got to go out there. You got to take chances. You got to risk humiliation. You got to risk defeat. You know, that's something I'm learning too, is that really the only way to learn in life is to fail, and to fail often. So I just encourage anyone that's struggling out there to just kind of wrap this video up. Anyone that's struggling out there, you know, my number one habits I would say to start with is number one, get your life organized. And Jordan Peterson talks about this too. He says, clean your room. You know, just look around your living situation, your area, and just think, you know, what can I do to make this immediately orderly, like right now, to kind of help with if you have depression or anxiety or whatever. And then number two, I would say, try to set some goals for yourself. Set some small goals. So like if you're overweight, maybe set a goal like, I'm going to try to lose 2 pounds in the next 2 weeks or something like that. And you can actually lose 1 pound a week pretty easily, I've learned. Some advice I would have too, if you're trying to lose weight, is to try weightlifting. If you never tried weightlifting, that's what did it for me. I did cardio for a while and it didn't really do much, but weightlifting was when it started to just shed off. So there's that, workout. And then if you don't know a lot about stuff and you're curious, and like the reason that I started learning about things, just to give you an example, is that I just kind of got bothered by the fact that I would have discussions with people and I didn't know what I was talking about, like be it politics or whatever. And so it was about 3 years ago I just started learning about things. And I've always known a lot about football and stuff, but it was like other things I didn't know a lot about. So that's why I started reading books. So I would just think in your mind, like, what do you want to know about that you don't know about, that bothers you, and then learn about that thing. You can go on Google and find books of all kinds for pretty much anything you want. I mean, there's audiobooks on Audible. There's a lot of free audiobooks that get uploaded to YouTube. So you could just check that out. So reading, increasing your knowledge really helps. If you have anger issues, I would suggest meditating. You know, maybe try to like just turn off your phone. If you need music, sometimes I do that, surprisingly. Like, I'll put on some music while I'm meditating. But just if you have anger issues, or you're overly anxious, like my big thing is that I just can't turn my brain off. Insomnia is another cause of my anxiety. So sometimes I just need to turn everything off. I need to just tune the world out, and I need to just relax and focus on my life and my goals and stuff like that. And this is especially important if you're single too, because sometimes when you're single, the sense of loneliness can really get to you. And so doing stuff like this it's almost like, if you're not religious even, it's almost like praying. It's, in a way, it just kind of like helps recenter you. So I'd recommend trying out meditation as well. But I'll just kind of end the video with that, guys. This is what I've found over the years. really is working. Also, here's another one, a bonus one. If you have any friends in your life that are good conversationalists, because we live in a world now where, you know, it's either everyone has the right opinion, so it's really hard to find people that you can have a rational discussion with. And if you find someone like that, or if you know someone like that in your life, reach out to them, you know. Ask them if you can talk about some things with them, because sometimes there's things you know that are right or wrong, but sometimes you just need to talk it out. That's really what helps get it through your head that it may not be that big of a deal. For me, with dating girls, that's been one of the biggest things I've had to talk to people about, because like I said, the fear of not feeling good enough, that's a huge part of anxiety. And when you're dating someone that you really like, all those fears come right to the forefront, I found, you know, and you know it's nonsense in your mind. You know that it's all just fear, but sometimes you just need to talk it through with someone. So I would recommend that as well. Find someone that is good to talk to, maybe even a mentor, if you can find someone that's a mentor in your life. I talk to my dad a lot, but there's a lot of things that my dad doesn't really know. So to find mentors for me, I've gone on YouTube and I watch people like Stefan Molyneux, like I said, Jordan Peterson. These are good people. Lauren Chen is another one. Roaming Millennial is her YouTube handle. There's lots of resources out there for you that can help you. Just if you have like a topic. I mean, YouTube alone has so much, so many videos that you can watch about any given topic. It's pretty amazing in that regard. You just have to seek it out. We live in a day where there's just so much information. So you just need to like sit down and think about what you want out of life, you know, and then just like seek it out, you know. You can have anything you want in life, but you just have to ask for it. That's really true in a lot of ways. You need to actively ask for it and actively set goals to achieve that. So yeah, those are that's my advice to you guys, at least from what I'm learning right now. And like I said, I'm a work in progress. I'm not coming up on here as like I've made it, you know, I've done it. I've still got a lot of work to do. But, you know, I think that what I've learned in the past 2 or 3 years, it's worth passing on. And if this helps even one person out there just kind of realize their potential, then I've done my job. There have been a couple people in my life that I've helped, but there's also been people in my life that we no longer are in contact. So sometimes you succeed and sometimes you fail. That's just part of life, but it's really about the journey, guys. So anyway, I'd like to hear down in the comments what you guys think about this topic. Anxiety, not feeling good enough, depression, you know, addiction. That's another one. That could be a whole nother video in and of itself. I might make other videos about this stuff depending on how you guys respond to this video. But if you've made it all the way to the end, you know, 18 minutes here, I really appreciate the support. Comment down below what you guys think about this topic. I'd love to hear from you guys. I'm really good at responding to comments on my channel, so I will definitely do that. And yeah, like I said, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you hit that subscribe and like button, and if you're a returning viewer, just make sure you are subscribed and you hit that notification bell, because YouTube is really bad at keeping people up to date nowadays. But anyway, guys, this has been Jigsaw0097. I appreciate so much you guys watching and supporting the channel, and I'll talk to you all later. God bless.